Hello, folks on YouTube. Welcome. Another episode here of HOI4 multiplayer I'm doing. I'm just going to be playing, talking to another person. But, I know you're all watching, so enjoy. Sorry. Get the music going, and yeah, I guess we can unpause if you're good with that, Core.
Yeah.
Alright. HOI is buying infantry equipment from me. Oop. What? Sorry, something weird just happened. HOI is paying standard prices for the infantry equipment, though, I think. Yeah, that's fine. Miss equipment production. Oh. That's nothing. Alright. So I was wrong, and when on YouTube, I was wrong about lobbying effort canceling if you run out of political power. I actually went and tested it. You can do what should run you into negative political power, and the decision will still give its benefits. So I guess I just wasn't keeping track of stuff. That happens. And I'm working on building up my navy. Now, Core, what focus were you working on right now? Wait a second.
Took Cat Bay, by the way.
What?
They took Cat Bay.
Oh, shit. You might be able to drive them out. I don't know. I would see that arrow where they've got. I would, the way I would do this is, well, not. If you left click the cavalry, so you select them, and then move to edit, that's next to trash can for the battle plan. No, to the left of it, edit mode. And then you right click that little handle, that thing that looks like a circle at the end of the line. It's like it looks like a coin almost. If you right click that to drag the end of the line and move it, just drag up into the right one so that it highlights there, and then release the right click button, and then you can do the same thing with the left side but drag it up so that they'll just yeah, if you right click that and then drag it up, same way. No, drag it up instead of down. So up and to the right. There, and then release. Now and then you can exit the edit mode by left clicking it again. So when the cavalry and then just right click where they're already headed, where those 3 divisions are piled up, instead of the battle in the mountains. Probably, because if you want to counterattack, they can't really attack while they're under attack. So if you just right click there, when they get there, they'll sit and start planning, and then they can potentially, with some planning, drive the enemy back out of Caspa. Because Caspa is just like a flat plain, I think. I'll look at it myself, since I can see the terrain at least. Yeah, oh no, it's hills. But still, it might be possible to drive the Nationalists back out in like a week or something. It's going to take a little bit. The cavalry have to organize and plan before they can attack. But yeah, and also, how's it? You can unselect those guys, hit escape or whatever. But how's the divisions in Italy? How are they doing? I know you had a division. Yeah. That guy.
He's doing actually nothing.
Yeah, he's doing nothing. Oh, he doesn't have a field marshal assigned. You can give him a field marshal or increase his bonuses. If you yeah, and then if you select that, you can give him that guy. That guy will make him fight a little better. Having a field marshal oversee the general always makes him fight better. But yeah, and if you... He can't... I mean, you don't have the command power to give him any traits yet. Sorry for any folks on YouTube. I'm Discord looking at a screen, so I'm guiding him stuff. But you can do is send those infantry into the... See where the Italian communists are under attack by that tank division?
Yeah.
So if you left... You might want to set a battle plan there because they should be able to, in Italy with the help, do a counterattack later. But if you left click right there and right click there, oh, it did the. You probably want to delete that so it's cleaner. I'll shoot. If you just click the general portrait, because it did this whole army group thing, and if you draw an offensive line to Livorno there, just right click on Livorno, it'll cover the states, the provinces, and that works too. But yeah, you can send them to march to where the battle's going on. Part of the reason to have them have a battle plan like this, even if they're defending, is that the generals gain organizer experience when they have an active battle plan, even if they're on the defense. And organizer is one of the traits they can earn over time. So yeah, if you send them to the hills there, if you just right click where the battle is, no, to the southeast, where the communists are defending there. So if you right click, they'll march there and join the battle. Like, just right click in that province, the one with the circle in it. You can't right click on the circle.
Here?
Yeah. You just right click now, they'll march in there and join the battle. Is that a brigade Argarista? It is. So that's only a 4 infantry battalion. 3 infantry. Oh, they're not going to be able to attack. But they'll still gain organizer experience from the battle plan, so it's not a waste. The general will. He'll gain experience from having that battle plan.
And it's helping with defense and pull as well. They're
What?
already winning ways.
Yeah, I thought you had sent a better division to Italy. Generally, you send your best divisions as volunteers, just for, a strategic note for the future. But, like, you had some proper infantry divisions, I think. But the Brigade Agarista are, like, just 3 battalion infantry. They're not any good at anything except defending. Like one of those guys. Yeah, those are 9 infantry and they have support artillery. Like one of those would have been good to have sent instead. But those guys always. You have 15 battalions in the state, but that's in 5 divisions. Like if you left click any of the bigger ones, the one or anything in that, I guess it doesn't matter if you left click. If you hover over the ones that don't have the red down mark, that indicates reserve priority for equipment. But if you hover over the little helmet icon on the list on the upper left, like that, the Agarista have 3 infantry. But if you hover over the ones that's highlighted of the divisions you currently have selected, like the 1st Divisio di Infantry or the Estado Mayor Presidencial, it has 9 infantry and a support artillery. That's just telling you about attrition due to training exercises. You don't need to care too much about that, except for knowing that that's happening. But yeah, those divisions have 9 infantry battalions and a support artillery company, which means if you had sent one of them, you would have had 3 times as many people in Italy, because it would have been a division that was 3 times as large. Just a note. I mean, as soon as you get access to when your total division, what? When you're
True.
well, you would have had to send them as volunteers. You can't send them like you're not at war with Mussolini personally, so you can't send other divisions. They won't join the fight. There's no point in. There's nothing you can really do now. But if you go to your division training queue, so if you exit out of all of that and just left click that, yeah, you can just deselect that. If you left click the recruit and deploy queue, when you only have 1 division and it doesn't seem to have any equipment yet, but when you get 10 more divisions deployed, you'll be able to send another volunteer brigade division to Italy. When you hit 41 total divisions. Right now you have 31. You can see if you
say that. The back over these guys.
You did send 2 to Republic of Spain though, but which is confusing why you'd be able to send 2 there and only 1. Hold on, left click over on Italy for a second on the land, not on the any divisions. Just left click on the land and then click on the flag because you want to open diplomacy with the Italian units. There, if you left click, right, and send volunteers. If you left click on that, you have one division. Oh, you can send a second. Limited by the number of their provinces. It's not even limited by your total number of divisions. So you can actually send another division. The way you would do that, because you want to control what you send. You don't want to try and send your whole like army or a randomly selected division, which is what happened before, I think. So if you go back to Mexico proper, just you can exit out all that because you're going to need to select some stuff. So if you go back and select your main army here, you need to switch because you're currently look at the volunteer theater instead. So if you select, is that music? That's yours. So pick one of the divisions that's got 9 infantry in it. Any one of them, doesn't matter. Those are Agarista, they only have 3. If you pick one of the other, like there in the swamp, or that's a good one, right? So you can even right click on it to zoom in on it, so you know where he is if you're curious. Yeah, one of these guys, not in the swamp. But if you move them to a new army, so right click there and form new army, then you can send that army of just that one division to Italy, and that will allow you to make sure that that division is the one that goes as volunteers and not some random one. The 1st Infantry Division. It's actually your oldest infantry division, it seems. And then you can send volunteers, and you can select Army 4, that's that, and send. And in 2 weeks, that division will arrive in Italy and be able to join there too. And that division is large enough to attack, unlike the other one, which is really big enough to defend. Because if you tried attacking with that division, it would suffer a lot of critical hits because it's so small. That's because its breakthrough is very low. And if breakthrough is less than enemy attack, you suffer crits. Every attack over breakthrough is a crit, so. Anyways, yeah, that's that, and it'll be 2 weeks before they first have to accept. Yeah, the volunteer division. That'll be 2 weeks they arrive, but that division will help as well. And when they get there, you can merge them into the other army. You don't need to keep them as a separate army anymore. You just can't merge armies that are in different theaters. So, like, you have 3 theaters: your Mexican theater, your Spanish Civil War theater, and your Italian Civil War theater. You can't merge armies that are in different theaters of combat. So.
Yeah.
The escalator clause is being invoked on the London Naval Treaty.
Okay, well, it's just a complete difference over here. I don't think they plan on that.
Are you able to turn your music down a little? Because I'm having trouble hearing you over your music.
I don't have any music on.
Oh, that was my music. Sorry. Okay, I turned my music off. I thought that was coming through Discord, but it was mine. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, these music orcs are too low, too advanced.
Something about advance? Sorry, come again? Oh, you're saying something about what you're looking at on your screen. I went back to look at my own screen. Yeah. It's like just gonna modernize. I have new P35 design here, P35B. It's more heavily armed and it has a tail gun. Yeah, anyways, stop looking at the screen because I'm getting a lot of like sound effects that's coming through that. Like the guns firing off over and over. So yeah, I was gonna unpause again if you're good.
Yep.
There we go. It's a lot less. The sound of rifles firing over and over gets to me after a while, and I'm sure it gets to some people are listening to this on YouTube later anyway too, but it gives me a headache personally. I can select my first operative. Well groomed. Diplomatic pressure. Control trade. Demolition expert. Tough or escape artist. Escape artist. I was gonna start spying in national Spain. Well, actually, the Spanish Civil War takes forever. I'm gonna start spying in Florence on Mussolini. That should make that go a little faster.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
no, actually, am I saying the Spanish Civil War because
Yeah,
I
we're
want to make
also
sure the
gonna lose
Republicans don't
Eastern.
lose. What?
We're, we're gonna lose Eastern Aragon very soon.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be too much of a pessimist about it. I'm sending a spy to nationalist Spain, which will end up reducing the max entrenchment and planning the nationalists can get. It shouldn't work that way. Neutral spies shouldn't be able to hurt a country, but they do. And I'm going to weaponize that bug against them since I've suffered it many times, as like Germany, where everyone sends spies to Berlin. My communist Germany run. I'm sure people on YouTube have seen me complain about that. But yeah, I'm sending a spy to Burgos, and that'll help a little. And later I'll infiltrate them, but try and get some political power from infiltrating their civilian administration. But eventually I'm gonna be able to send like Lend-Lease and stuff. It's so if the Republicans can hold out long enough, I wouldn't worry too much. Anyways, I'm unpausing it. And once the communist Italians win their civil war, right? Like,
Yeah.
see how Mussolini is losing. Once Mussolini surrenders, the Italian Union has done their civil war. They'll end up sending volunteers to help the Republican Spanish instead of previously Mussolini was helping the nationalists, and that was, of course, causing the nationalists to win. When Italian volunteers come and start helping the Republicans. Plus, is you keep expanding your armed forces. As you expand your armed forces, you should be able to send more volunteers over eventually. Ooh.
Poland declared war on the Polish Republic.
Yeah, Poland is having a civil war. Specifically, they're having a civil war to flip communist, or rather, the Polish peasant strike occurred, and that's a.
Oh, I guess what good news I can help them too.
Oh, they're trying to flip democratic. Weird. I think they get a decision whether to try to become democratic or communist or not. And I can have enough intel on them. They took the communist focuses, but they assemble a leftist cabinet, they become communist. If they raise the Black Madonna and assemble a PSL leader, they become democratic. Yeah, I don't know. They'll probably change ideology to communist after a little while. But yeah, the Polish peasant strike is occurring, and that's, yeah, you can send volunteers there. You can probably send like 2 or 3 volunteers, right, Core?
Let me see.
And you
I
can
can
use the
send
same
one.
you can use the same trick as before to control which divisions you send. To always send your best divisions by separating the divisions you want to send into their own army and then sending them. Let's see, I'll take a look here. Yeah, if you're trying to find particular divisions to send somewhere, one thing you can do is if you select your main army there, and you can sort by template, which will, if you left click the main army, and you see the little arrows beneath 16 selected. For those on YouTube, I open back up. To the left of that, experience is what you currently got highlighted, but if you move to the left, there's an arrow that says sort by template. If you left click it, now if you scroll up and down the list, at the very bottom you'll see your best divisions. You could also control left click that to set them on the top of the list instead.
This is my best division, I guess.
Well, those are your bigger ones. So you could stick, I don't know how many volunteer divisions you're allowed to send to Poland. It's either 2 or 3. But you could stick the... What?
I don't just have Division D infantry and brigades. I have an Estado Mayor Presidential.
That's also a infantry division, like a proper one. It's just named after, like, technically they're the presidential guards, so they're the most experienced soldiers in theory. It's purely for role-playing immersion, though. They're identical to the other divisions. But if you select those 2 divisions, the 2nd Infantry Division and the Presidential Guards, you can merge them into that other army, and then you can send it, and it'll send up to 3 of those elite divisions to Poland. So if you select just those 2 divisions, left-click and then you can shift-click the other one to select them both, or control, doesn't matter. So if you shift-click and left-click that, and then you can right-click the portrait that's got no guy there that's there, and now you have an army of 3 divisions, and you can send that to the Polish Peasant Union, and it'll send up to 3 divisions. Oh, you can only send 1 anyhow. Well, it'll just select... Oh, I guess you can't send if it's over, so you need to merge 2 of those back into the other army. You can send any one of the divisions, but not more than 1, apparently. I think once the other divisions arrive in Italy, that number will increase to 2. It's probably that you're just over the threshold for sending 2 divisions, but when divisions are currently redeploying, they're off map and they don't count towards that limit. So, yeah. This is for the best anyways. When you send 1 division at a time, it generates world tension that decays more quickly. So you won't, like, upset the UK with you. Yeah, so they'll accept that in, like, a little bit. And, yep. Sent 1 volunteer to Polish Peasant Union. The Mexicans did. And they should be able to win that. And then there's a news flash on it. The young state of Poland has erupted into civil war, decades of government infighting, a total lack of investment in infrastructure in the rural east in Poland has led to a general strike from the nation's lower classes earlier this year, and the continued brutal treatment of the strikers by the police and military split the nation true. The peasant government is backed by the Democratic Front Morgus faction of the Polish military and a coalition of Marxists, socialists, and liberals. What will this mean for Poland? Anyways, it'll mean they become communist. And they actually get focuses to potentially make friends with the Soviet Union and even join their faction. Although they also have a focus tree where they choose not to do that. Yeah, they could either...
Oh, once Italian Union wins, and they'll be able to send over volunteers to Spain too. Same with the Polish Peasant Union.
Oh yeah, Italian Union and the Polish Peasants Union will both become communists and be able to send volunteers to help the Republicans in Spain once. Yeah. Second chance. I got an event for a special project on torpedo cruisers.
Like Spain is actually going communist right now too. Or the Republican Spain.
Hmm.
They're halfway communist. They're also, yeah. There's my volunteers, Soviet Union, so some volunteers. About the national. Right, only the German Reich has sent volunteers. Which is good.
Yeah, I mean the Germans are saying volunteers to help the nationalists, but importantly, nationalist Spain. This is probably an oversight by the devs. Nationalist Spain can't access one of its focuses unless they have volunteers from both Germany and Italy. The focus is called equipment shipments. It looks like it's checked off to me, but I know they don't have volunteers from Italy, so they can't access that focus, which means they can't obtain training staff or get doctrinal advancements.
Which means if we really want to help win the war, then we have to we have to kill off Spain. Well, no, I meant fucking Italy.
Yeah, I mean, finishing off Mussolini is a domino effect. You finish off Mussolini, Mussolini sends volunteers to help both the Polish Peasant Union and the Republican Spanish. Then the Polish Peasant Union finishes their war, and then they send more volunteers to Spain. Each war makes it easier for the next. For the workers to unite and cast off their oppressors. It's worth noting the Polish Peasant Union one is probably actually going to be the first civil war that ends. It's the easiest one because Poland, the terrain is more amenable than Italy, which is much more mountainous. That civil war should be the first to end. So it actually be Poland wins, then they help Italy win their war, and then Italy wins, and then they both send volunteers to Republican Spain. Poland will also probably send some to Republican Spain, but there's no guarantees. The AI isn't super consistent about those things. So, yep. I just got another research slot. Finish the tech for that. I can do Agricultural Adjustment Act, which
declared war Japanese People's Republic.
Oh yes, Japan has entered a civil war to try and flip communists as well. So Poland, Japan. I had nothing to do with this, by the way. Anyone watching YouTube or core here, I had nothing to do with Poland deciding to flip communist and Italy decided to flip communist. The only thing that I stuck my finger in and messed with is I set Japan to flip communist, so I wouldn't have to fight a Pacific War. That's it. And I set Soviet Union to have a civil war to try and flip Trotskyite as well.
I can send volunteers to Japan.
Yeah, you can. That war will be over in like no time flat, though. It's almost not worth it. You can, though. You might get a little bit of experience from it, so there's no harm in doing so. Send a volunteer division to Japan.
I know, are they gonna rush Tokyo?
Yeah, they're gonna rush Tokyo, and it's gonna be over very quickly. But you might help them take Tokyo a little bit faster, so there's no harm in it, as I was saying. As long as they take Tokyo, they win.
I didn't even realize what a national focus to choose. Spanish Civil War refugees.
Yeah, you don't want that, so you can Spanish Civil War refugees allows you to support Spain's loyalists, and support Spain's loyalists lets you send infantry equipment to help the Republicans. Speaking of which, since I know you don't have the spare rifles to do that, I'll need to sell you rifles at a discount so that you can turn around and send those rifles. One thing you can do so that you have enough rifles for... Oh, I forgot to point this out to you. You probably want to do this because you're so short on rifles. If if you go into your recruitment queue, did you already send the division to Japan, by the way?
No.
Oh, you can do that in a second. But if you open up the Brigado Agarista and click edit, you can disable, if you go into equipment tab, you can disable use new equipment and disable all the rifles, like both infantry 1. You just click the big tab. It'll cause sometimes issues if you do individual, and then update. And that'll disable, they won't get replacement rifles, and instead those rifles will end up being used to train your new divisions. So you can get them in the field, and then the other divisions can get the replacement rifles later when you have some to spare. You just go and undo what you did later. Yeah. And another thing you can do is I'd probably queue up a Agarista brigade as well, like just one. If you click train. Because this way rifles, as they become available, will be split between those two. Oh, shoot. No, actually cancel that. You need to create a duplicate template for this to work correctly. So hit edit on the Agarista brigade. Click duplicate. And then update. And then you can give it a name like training or something. Instead of copy, rename that to training training brigade or something. I would just call, what do we call it? Training. No, you don't want to rename that. It's a duplicate, but you're going to be, that's the one you're going to want to, so if you edit the name of it, you need to open it. You don't click on the name, you edit, and then you can change the name in there. You could do a drop down, but you can manually type it in. So if you just call it training brigade or something, because it's literally just a brigade, 3 infantry battalions. Just delete all that and call it training brigade is what I would do. And then rename the little button on the bottom, which is to save the name change. And now you can enable, if you go to the equipment tab for them, and now you can enable all the rifles for them and click use new equipment and update. And now if you exit out of all that and then queue one of those up for training, the training brigades, once rifles become available, they'll get rifles. And it'll split between the two, but because the brigade doesn't need as many rifles as the division, it should more quickly get to like 20% equipment. And once they get up to 20% training level, which they can do once they have 1/5 of their needed rifles, you can pre-deploy them even though they're still green. And the use of this is to increase your number of divisions quickly and cheaply so that you can send more volunteers. Because the number of volunteers you can send is not based on how many battalions you have, it's based on how many divisions you have. So you can definitely take advantage of this mechanic to increase the number of your volunteer cap, so you get it up like to 2 and then eventually 3. It's kind of chintzy, and some might call it an exploit, but it's good for tiny little nations that are, for some stupid reason, limited to always sending like 1 division, which is just ridiculous if you ask me. No one should be limited that much.
Yeah. 60 days left for the Caudillo rebellion.
Yep, I'm just...
Oh yeah, that's right, because also, how you said the domino effect, once we get the Italians and their war faster, they're also gonna send volunteers back during my civil war.
Yeah, hopefully, the AI is not super consistent about sending volunteers, but if they win their civil wars, then the communist nations might send you volunteers.
Yeah.
They're able to. They might not do it because right now you're still non-aligned. but you should be able to actually, I think, flip communist during your civil war. It'll take a while, but if things are going along enough, Party of the Revolution. Oh no, is
Yeah.
not in a civil war. Darn it. What about communist revolution? Is not in a civil war. Nope, you're gonna have to crush these guys before you can flip communist. Well, you should be able to do it. Honestly, it'll help later if you're if you're communist and they're communist, they'll want to send you volunteers. But they can send you volunteers, but they probably won't want to if you're just non-aligned.
Fascist group DTAT and Vanguard.
Coup d'etat in Vanguard, Chile. Yep. National Socialists, literally Nazis, have seized power in Vanguard, Chile. Knowingly, the sub-ideology refers to German Nazism instead of it should be a generic Nazism. There is a sub-ideology for that. But yeah, they're literally Nazis.
So just basically just.
I mean, they may or may not eventually try and join the Axis. We'll see. But yeah, Nazis have seized power in Chile.
I mean, either way, it's Chile. What are they going to do?
Conquer Argentina, Bolivia, and Brazil? Possibly. Believe it or not, Chile is more than capable of beating Argentina in this game. They're rather overpowered.
That arrived in Krakow.
What about Krakow?
My, volunteers are here.
Oh. Okay, that's a little pocket that the Senation government is going to try and crush. That's the version that's not communist or democratic. Right now it's an alliance between communists and Democrats who are fighting the peasant side. So you probably just want that division to dig in and wait for the other side to try and take it. Right now they're trying to attack out, but I would say the best thing for them to do is to dig in Krakow to make sure it doesn't fall for any reason. So if you left click and set a front line there.
Hold on, I need to
you can
them.
assign a general. If you're defending, attack skill is actually the most important thing, which is counterintuitive. So that guy, Luis Cubelas, is your best guy. He's a war hero, so he'll reassign slowly. And you don't have any available field marshals yet, so you're going to have to wait till you can promote one. But yeah, if you set a front line there and then an offensive line.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, if you set an offensive line to like Radome or Lodz or something, just so that they make plans. You can set it further. You don't need to set it in the neighboring province. If you like try right-clicking on Lodz up to the north, Lodz, it's like 3 provinces in north. So if you see further north, there's that city, Lodz.
LOD.
It's at the top of your screen, the city there. If you right-click that, and then it'll draw an arrow all the way there. And theoretically, if they were to attack, they would try and make it all the way there, which they won't. But it's nice to have plans. Oh, you can even change the path of the arrow. In fact, that would be a bad path they're taking right now, probably. Well, no, Kielce is worth conquering.
Basically, just grab it. Just move
yeah. Yep, you can make them go through forest, which is easier terrain to take than the hills. So if you do have them ever try to execute that plan, that's a slightly better plan.
And plus, this is a division de-infantry, so they have support artillery with them.
Yep. They're still infantry, so they're not great attacking, but they're still much better than your other infantry at attacking. And they're bigger. So for now, I just have them dig in the city and make sure the city doesn't fall. Just wait. They'll entrench over time. Just to make sure the city doesn't fall.
That guy's most likely losing. I mean,
the Polish Peasant Union are attacking. They're on the offense right now. If you wait an hour, though, I think that the Senation government is about to launch an attack on Krakow. So if you wait literally 1 hour, unpause it, you'll see that probably... Here, and pause. And if you look at the Krakow now,
Crackhead.
where the division is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They'll
So,
probably
yeah.
launch an attack there in a second. I don't know why. It looks like they're marching in there, but maybe they're not. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe it'll take a little while for it to recognize, but they should end up. Anyhow, there's
Probably
nothing to
because
do. The
lodge
defense. What?
gonna take them a few hours. Probably because it's going off of logic more often, so it's gonna take them a few hours to actually get there to the battlefront.
Oh no, the battle would start instantly if it recognized I don't know what's going on, why they're not getting engaged, but there must not be a battle in Krakow yet. Oh, shit. Well, following a minor heart attack, a senior senator announced today that he will be retiring for health reasons. More than 2 decades in Congress, the senator built a large network of supporters, and he was one of my supporters, so I just lost a big chunk of support in the Senate. I still have enough senators to pass the Agricultural Adjustment Act, as long as I don't get an event like that that loses me a bunch of House support. Yeah, the U.S. is a little bit random number generator dependent. I could get screwed at any time by a random event.
So it's just completely RNG based. So you could get more. So you can get additional support out of events or least support out of events.
Yeah, in the Senate. This is not like the normal stability or political support. There's a whole parallel mechanic for the Senate. And I can lose support in Senate or the House at any time, and it's completely random. There's nothing I can do about it. I can lobby to try and build support, but to keep ahead of that. But sometimes the random number generator is just not. The odds aren't always in your favor. To borrow
what would be is if we manage to take up the Lodge, it would probably be a good idea to maybe strike at Warsaw or circle back down through this area and try and make.
Oh, you're talking about battle plans in Poland? If you're looking for something to do on the offensive with that division, it's probably taking Katowice to the west. In terms of attacking into the forest, then swinging west and cutting off Katowice from reinforcements. That's something to eventually do. But for now, the division needs to dig in and make sure that Krakow, because they arrived in Krakow and most of the Polish divisions in the east, over time, the Polish Peasant Republic will defeat them. You just need to make sure that their capital doesn't fall right away. Although they can't really get reinforcements if their capital is there, and it will move.
Obviously, it shouldn't, because we have a cavalry defending, which is very good, smart on the AI's end, actually, from what you said.
What? That the cavalry are good at defense, and they can actually reinforce them quicker than infantry. But hold on, actually, here's an offensive battle plan that you might try. I just wanted to show you with the Lods, but if you delete that offensive line, I have a more interesting one that you might actually want to try once they have the planning. So if you
well, I mean, does it really matter? Are they both kind of just the same, or?
Well, no. Here's a plan that you might actually try executing, though, is what I'm saying, and you can draw it up now so that you know. And you can actually automate the execution of plans if you have it drawn somewhere you'd want them to go. So if you delete that, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just delete the big arrow, not the front line, just the arrow. Instead of trying to take loads, if they push east along the river
what I did plan was that we're gonna get these guys to kind of fall back first, because I do want to go and take Lodge, because that's just extra supply.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's supply, but the big issue is that the Polish Peasant Union can't get supplies to all their troops in the east. All those divisions can't be resupplied because they don't have a connection to the capital. The way to deal with that would be to push east along the river there with that one division, through Kielce and then cut off Ternau and then take Ternau. And after Ternau falls, it would reestablish supply. You can just delete the arrow. So if you left click the arrow, and then you can draw a new offensive line. And I would draw it to like Ternau, and by way of Kielce, you'll see if you right click there, and then you edit the line and drag it through Kielce probably because I meant edit the path instead of the endpoint. So yeah, you can release that. But if you left click the province, the one to the left of Ternau, oh, you have to be in edit mode. And then if yeah, so if you left click that and then drag up to Kielce, you have to be in edit. So left click there and then drag to Kielce. So hold while you're holding the mouse, and you'll see you change the path of the arrow.
Here?
No, to Kielce. Kielce is north of the river. There, and then release. And that will have them take Kielce, then swing east and take Ternau. And that should enable them to reestablish supply by establishing control of that river, and also a land route to the rest of the divisions. So once they have enough planning, they might be able to try that, and that will actually be useful.
True, but what I'm more so worried about is that what are these guys gonna do? Because they could swoop in and take Krakow.
But cities are really hard to take. They're good defensive terrain, so.
That is true, because if that cavalry stays at Krakow or moves over, then it doesn't really matter, because that'd be good on my end, because I'm already heading over here for extra support. So it just relies on this dude. Because I don't want him going for here. He has to stay. That's what I'm worried about, because if he does go over there, that would leave only him on this front.
Sorry, if he does go over where?
If he goes over this way, the same way I'm going, that cavalry, then that would leave only him on this front.
Yeah, I mean, risks going to have to be taken. If Krakow falls, as long as your infantry division has somewhere to retreat to, he'll be fine. Like, that's when... Because then the Polish capital will just move east. They won't lose their war. They just... So if you push east and reconnect the lines, then it reestablishes supply. But if Krakow falls, that also reestablishes supply. So either way, it's worth taking a risk. Because it's that control of that Ternau area. That's the thing that's problematic, because it's cut the Polish peasant union in two.
Yeah.
Once Ternau is retaken, things will go very smoothly. And if the division makes it to Ternau and then Krakow falls, he'll just fall back. He'll retreat east instead of west towards Zamosk. So.
Go back over to the entire exam. Nothing has happened over here on this front. Units organization relocate advance.
Yeah.
So the military is not advanced right now because their organization is slow. So I could go counter, possibly, for right here.
Sorry, I just got an event. I was looking at it.
I could take Eastern Aragon back because their organization is slow to advance. So I could perform a counter attack.
If you attack Kaspa with that, well, first of all, you don't want to select the cavalry. You're selecting the troops in the Polish theater right now.
No, I mean, I don't want to take Kaspa. I want to try and take this province and then built for Caspa because these guys, both organizations, are too low to advance. So I could probably just do a counter attack.
I mean, you could take that
Push.
province. It's a mountain, so it's difficult terrain and attack, but you could try. I mean,
And they are really low.
yeah, their organization is terrible, so you could probably win as long as they don't send reinforcements.
Oh, we have full organization over here. I have 84%.
You have, I mean, there's 4 divisions there, so you could probably attack there, and if after taking it would just make the front a little bit stronger in some ways. So yeah, you could right click there and they'll attack south of Caspa, but it's just a mountain province. It's not worth much. I just got an event where I lost the support
Yeah, no, I mean,
of
as
40
long as
representatives, which means I no longer have the support for agricultural adjustment act. Oh, this focus will continue even if the requirements are no longer met. Thank goodness. I thought it was going to cancel my focus because I just lost a bunch of support in the house.
I don't think really defensive. I think more offensive. See
Well,
what
that's
ways
not
I
good when you're playing as a
can
miner
counter
because miners have to be on the defense most of the time. Actually, most nations do. I don't know if you got used to playing like Germany or something, but most nations have to think defensively.
Yeah. Usually
At least
when I
some of the
started,
time.
I mostly played Germany,
Well,
so I
Germany,
went
back with their old
offense.
focus tree, it was just easy mode. It was ludicrously overpowered. It wasn't even realistic, so it got people in bad habits of playing like not very well. And then they thought that that's how the game is meant to be played, but no, you got to think about defending as much as attacking. You know, in one hand you have your sword, in the other hand you have your shield, and they're both important. So, if you don't defend well, you'll lose a war. If you don't attack well, you'll also lose. You have to be able to do both.
Yeah, so you used both. So basically, what you're saying is you use both to your advantage, offense and defense.
Yeah, you have to be able to defend where you need to defend and attack where you can attack. Otherwise,
Oh, I see. So it's
if you can
as
only attack,
long as it's your advantage, use it.
I
If
mean,
it's help, if it helps, and
yeah, the point of a war is to win. If you don't know how to defend stuff, then it won't matter if you attack well because you'll lose everything
oh
you.
boy,
What?
and then Poland. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it looks like they took a province there with some cavalry, but they can't even. You'll notice the cavalry are falling back from the airfield they just took. I would not get too intimidated by who controls what province. Land doesn't win wars. Men win wars. And those mountaineers are wearing themselves out in some kind of battle. It looks like. But mostly, if you select that infantry division, the one that you sent to Krakow, the
Yeah.
question is just how much planning they have, and yeah, you don't have a field marshal. You could probably try and promote someone to field marshal just to show you. If you click on left click that and click on the portrait, you don't have anyone concurrently, but you can promote people to field marshal. People who are cheaper are war heroes and political connected. So if you hover over that guy at the top of the list who's a war hero, Caudillo, I think.
Yeah,
No,
that's
those are
gonna
your
lead.
existing field marshals. The third guy on the list, number 3, who's in general. If you hover over his trait to check, oh no, that's media personality. Okay, the guy below him, Manuel Avila. He's politically connected, so it would only cost 20 command power to promote him to field marshal, for instance. You don't have 20 command power yet, but when you get 7 more, you'll be able to promote him. If you scroll down, you might have other good candidates further down the list. It usually puts your most skilled people at the top, but sometimes there's others.
Infantry leader, experience factor 100%.
Yeah, he's currently in charge of an army, though. It looks like...
They're all in charge of armies
Yeah,
right
it looks
now.
like Manuel Avila is probably your best choice for field marshal. He would be able to add a little bit of attack, a little bit of defense, and some planning logistics to any army.
What about this guy?
He's currently in charge of an army. You can see because it's hashed through. So guys are in charge of an army. Obviously, they can only do one thing at a time. That's why I was talking about taking quick improvisation when you have enough army experience, so you can expand your command staff. Because to fight all these volunteer battles at the same time, you need a lot of generals and field marshals. So when you get 20 command power, you can promote the guy to field marshal. Yeah, it's just telling you that that's a risky plan, because right now the Mountaineers are considered superior enemy, but over time you might be able to attempt it later. You need to produce more rifles. The main thing is those infantry divisions don't have enough rifles, and that's going to take time for them to get. I think they're maxed out on planning, but they can plan more when they have a field marshal. Cool.
Yeah.
Just finished first upgrade to my intelligence agency. Pass the defense.
I don't think Italy will. Force attack. Add following effects to the armies for 7 days. Offense 20%, breakthrough 25%, organization damage taken minus 100%. So I don't lose any organization. Strength damage taken 60%. War support reduction on damage 20%. Cannot retreat while attacking. That's force attack. So my guys in Italy.
Sorry, what?
My brigade over here in Italy can do a force attack for 7 days.
Can. I think you mean you just... Oh, that's... No, that's the Italian communists put the division on force attack. Their division. I was like, I hope you didn't select force attack.
Hey,
force attack makes divisions suffer crippling manpower losses.
My other division's here.
But yeah, you can merge them into that army. And then just click OK. And then you can have him march to the front there, or he'll do it automatically after an hour. He'll start doing it. But you can just right-click where the other division is, like the province. And then, yeah, over time he'll get there. And they'll get there, and then they'll start planning just like the other division, and eventually you'll be able to launch an attack there. Oh, I thought you were attacking south of Caspa, or did you decide not to do that? In Spain.
Oh, in Spain.
Yeah, you were talking about attacking with those cavalry. Did you decide against that?
No, because I mean, like you said, cavalry bad at offense.
Yeah. Looks like the divisions you were in attack have reorganized at this point anyhow, so it's no longer. The window of opportunity is gone.
I'm feeling that.
But you...
But not planning. Oh.
Yeah, you can try attacking Caspa itself. It's hills, so it's easier to take the mountains, and the Republicans might reinforce the attack. It looks like those are just smaller nationalist divisions. Not all divisions are created the same.
Not that. They do have one of their main divisions over here.
Yeah, one of them's probably a 3 infantry division, because those are their crap ones, and one has 6 infantry, is probably, and has artillery and engineers as well. Yeah, you can try and attack. If the AI decides to back up your attack, you might win. So you give it a shot and see what happens. Just right-click, and then once I pause, you'll see how it goes. It takes a little while. Yeah, it's green, which means you're winning. If you left-click on the battle, you'll see more information. So if you left-click that, it'll tell you what tactics, the skill level of the leaders involved. It looks like the Soviet volunteer tank division decided to back you up, and they're...
Where job to defend their tech.
Their guy is
And that's
pretty skilled, so he's a level 4 commander.
they're doing an ambush. Nope. Yeah, now they're on defense. We're on attack.
I mean, the tactics provide modifiers, but it looks like the Soviets decide to send their tanks to help you. So, for those on YouTube, by the way, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. It's, again, screen share stuff. But, yeah, the Soviets are helping you attack there, so you should be able to take Kaspa back from the Nationalists, which is good. It has, like, a factory, I think. Just one, but it's better than nothing.
Would be great if those guys decided to attack or to help.
I mean, the Soviet tanks are helping. That's probably the most you can really ask for.
What's going on? Who's losing on what? Okay, these guys appear to be... Yeah, they're gonna lose soon.
The guys defending you're talking about? Or there, you can't see anything about what's going on there. Like, you don't have any intel. I wouldn't make any assumptions about battles you can't see. They could be winning, they could be losing.
Look at their health, though, because, I mean, their health is very low, and, I mean, you have, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Well, no, you can't see anything. It's grayed out, meaning you don't know anything about what's going on there. Their health could be max, or it could be 0%, you wouldn't know.
The Regional Defense Council of Aragon has declared war on national space.
Yes, that's the Republicans. That's the anarchists. The anarchists have just risen up. March 21st, 37, so a little bit ahead of schedule, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, they spawn completely beyond everything.
yeah, your divisions in that mountain that are attacking Kaspa are going to be in a little bit of trouble now. However, what's in... Oh, there's a division in Tortosa.
We are still winning, though. It doesn't look like they plan on attacking just yet.
They will soon, but you might as well take Kaspa and then... I mean, it's still... Might as well finish that fight, and then you're going to have to worry about, like, the anarchists attacking. It's not going to be good. Not going to be pretty.
So we should be able to defend it all because it's just infantry versus Soviet tanks, 2 cavalry, so it's just, at that point, just...
These are pretty primitive tanks at this point, so that they don't make that big a difference. And infantry were more effective than people think against tanks. They have, anti-tank weapons, anti-tank mines, anti-tank rifles. Literally, rifles that could pierce the armor of tanks. Tanks are not immune to infantry. By the way, anti-tank rifles never show up in any first-person shooter game. It's actually kind of annoying.
They countered our tactic.
These are literally just really powerful rifles that can pierce straight through the armor of a tank. And if they hit someone inside, they don't work against modern tanks, but they definitely worked in, like, World War II. But yeah, if you exit the battle screens, you can see a little more what's going on around there. Oh, that battle's turned red. I might press H to kill off the attack at this point. Because otherwise they're going to lose. The anarchists are then going to attack them. It's because the anarchists are attacking them that they're losing. If you see. You see how there's... Or no, actually it's because the nationalists are attacking him in another place.
The anarchists don't look to be doing anything right
it's
now.
the nationalists who are attacking. But, Corey, you might want to call off that attack. Those cavalry are just going to wear themselves out. They're not going to be able to take Kaspa. So you press H to call off an attack for, like, halt. Because they're currently under attack by, you see those infantry in the northwest that just attacked across the river? And then on top of that, you have to worry about the anarchists coming in later. How close are you to your civil war, by the way?
32 days.
Okay. Even if those cavalry get encircled, it might take long enough that they'll just recall with the Civil War. But
well, democracy is under 10%.
Yeah, Well, you're
Okay.
doing anti-fascist raids right now. If you click on your country flag to see what you're currently got going on with political support,
Yeah, not a
democratic
whole.
support is probably increasing slowly. Well, that's a national spirit, proletarian class army. But if you hover over the PLC, which is oh yeah, they're increasing in numbers, so they should have enough support. You can do anti-democratic raids one more time in a little while. Not that's fully necessary, but it will accelerate them going all the way to 0 in support.
So question for mountaineers, is it good for them to be like on mountains,
or hills, or
areas,
attacking into them.
mountains and hills? Would they be better off on those fronts or just the main land?
Mountaineers have combat bonuses in hills and mountains, both attacking them or defending them. So, there's some fancy stuff you can do with mixed divisions. They're part infantry and part mountaineers, which I like to use because the actual pure mountaineers have pretty bad hit points, and that doesn't leave enough room to add like artillery support. So I'll often mix infantry, mountaineers, and artillery in a single division. Some people don't like that, but not everyone has to be a specialist or special forces member in a battle. So
How's Italy doing good? That it looks like two swords. They banded die and oh, and then just guns and swords. Yeah,
what?
makes sense. Nothing, just looking at Italy.
You might be able to launch an attack there to back up in Italy, the two
Oh, well,
divisions.
now they finally decided to attack Krakow. My volunteers are losing.
Well, I mean, if they lose, they'll fall back to one of the other two provinces. As long as they don't get surrounded and destroyed before your civil war breaks out, you'll be fine. The point is that they are slowing down the loss there. Meanwhile, if you look, the Sanation government is losing in the east. So over time...
Holy shit, the AI is smart. Oh my god, the AI is smart. The
What?
AI is so smart. Look what they just did.
What? They just surrounded us. That happens all the
No,
time.
no, they also broke through there too. I think they're about to take Warsaw.
Yeah. I've seen AI do that. They got smarter with the newest update. They now actually make plans to like concentrate their forces and push on major objectives, which is something they didn't used to do. The AI is much better at attacking than they used to be. What?
Just wondering just because I have played Warhammer 40K games. When it comes to soldiers, like, do they have a mechanic, like a what do you call it? Oh, it's a certain morale. Do they have morale mechanic? Like how long they can
Yes.
fight before they start actually kind of.
That's what organization is. Organization is morale. If a unit is disorganized, it means that they run out of morale.
Yeah.
If you click your volunteers in Krakow there, if you left click them to select them, and hover over, you see there's two bars, one orange, one green. Green is morale, and orange is strength. Strength is a combination of equipment, which don't worry, they haven't lost a lot of men. They're under strength because they never had enough rifles to begin with. And green is the morale, and that will deplete, but they'll run out of morale way before they run out of strength, and then they'll just withdraw into another province, and then once they withdraw, they'll reorganize and they'll fight again. The only danger is that they might get encircled and completely destroyed before your civil war breaks out. You just gotta hope they don't. but for now you're fine. If you really want to make sure that doesn't happen, you could stick them on last stand, but I wouldn't do it quite yet. I'd let them, I would not do that right now, but that could be useful later.
It's staff office plan.
That just helps
plus
them plan faster. They're already at max planning. That wouldn't do them any good. That would just be a waste of command power. Although when you get to 20 command power, you can put a field marshal in charge of them, which will help them fight better. Because he'll take over some of like the duties from the general, I guess, and the general can focus more on leading the men.
Alright, so we're gonna lose Krakow, but that's okay.
Well, it just flashed green, so it's actually closer than you might think, meaning that sometimes it goes in their favor, sometimes against.
It doesn't matter anyways, because they just moved their capital. So.
I mean, it won't cause the Polish Peasant Union to lose, but what might happen is that your division, the one you sent, gets encircled and destroyed. It'd be best to avoid that if possible.
That got completed.
Oh yeah, now you can do support Spain's loyalists.
It's gonna take
if you
35 days though, and that's in 25 days.
Yeah,
so.
it'll happen after, but if you hover over support Spain's loyalists, if you hover the focus to see what it does, you'll notice it increases your war support and stability and the popularity of communism. Gives you an opinion bonus, a permanent opinion bonus with Spain. And both you like them better and they like you better. And it weakens the Catholic Church, which will reduce them from assertive to weak. So you'll lose stability, you'll gain factory output. And then you can, later down the line, you'll get events and stuff that might allow you to bring them back up to assertive if you want the stability. But, yeah.
And I'm running on the defense with already 11% war support, so plus that extra 5% or 10% from one support Spain's loyalist gets completed, so I'm gonna have a lot of war support.
I mean,
by the time the Civil War's out.
None of these are big numbers. I hate to break it to you, but 11 is very low war support. But it can go all the way to 100. But you'll be at 16% war support, and then when the Civil War breaks out, you should be on the defensive, and you'll be at 36% war support.
Oh, well, good news.
And then you'll be able to partially mobilize your economy.
Polish Peasant Union, the Polish Peasant Union has won.
Well, they haven't won yet. They're gaining ground, but it's not over until the fat lady sings, so to speak. So, yeah, they're gaining ground. For anyone watching YouTube, yeah, the map is turning green in Poland. So,
wait. Oh, yeah, I can send more volunteers now. If I wanted to. But I think it would be useless anyways. Because my Civil War is about to break out.
Sorry, what was this about? Useful to send volunteers? Because...
No. I'm not sending any more volunteers. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
volunteers only take 2 weeks to go wherever they're going. So, if you've got more than 14 days to your Civil War, you would still send volunteers and have them gain some experience. Keep in mind that the volunteer divisions could end up on either side of the Civil War, but you keep all the army experience that you earned from the combat.
Yeah,
oh yeah, the anarchists might win the Civil War. That's another possibility.
Yeah, it already looks like they're about to run through their land.
It's because the Republicans don't have enough divisions to defend that area. The anarchists are crazy and they'll attack everything in sight, so they'll probably get crushed no matter what. Like, they'll invade France. By the way, France is going communist, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, France is... in their historical path, they don't form the popular front so quickly. So yeah, France is going communist. But the anarchists, if they win the Civil War, might try and invade France and probably get crushed because communist France is pretty powerful. They
Oh, hey,
eventually
we're
iron
actually
out all their
winning this.
problems. What? Yeah,
Well,
they might get.
fine.
They're losing a
Spain.
defensive battle. They might get driven. Hold on. So if you zoom in on those calf, you can select where they would draw to. I would select. Shoot.
Yeah, fallback line.
There's nowhere good for them to fall. No, that's different. I was talking about manually withdrawing them. I might manually withdraw them to the southwest because if they're in danger of getting encircled. So if you right-click that state, that province to the south there, right-click there, and they'll start withdrawing that way. If they weren't entrenched, so it's not like they lost any entrenchment bonuses from withdrawing, and if they get there before their current battle is over, then they'll shift to defending there. But
If the AI was smart, what I do is just fall back completely from these areas up to this point,
well,
and
I mean they
so the AI can
probably
kind of
would, but they're not going to. So
over here.
yeah, they're gonna lose divisions. They're gonna get encircled between the nationalists and the anarchists. Some of the divisions. Some of those are volunteers, like Soviet volunteers, but some of them are actual Republican troops. Because of the way the anarchists... Oh, no, a province just flipped, which means that there's divisions falling back, and then... Yeah. And then once those guys reach that other province, then if they lose there, then they'll fall back further. So it might actually be the case that this is a successful, nobody gets encircled. We'll see. As long as the provinces lose in the right order. I do wish I could send volunteers, but can't do that just yet. Not far enough in my focus tree.
You know, it'd be funny though if you could just do something like train up a bunch of troops constantly, and then just to be able to get a more max limit on volunteers.
I mean, you can do that. That's a strategy to train lots of divisions just so you can send more volunteers.
Yeah, not like big ones, but like like very very small ones that are literally just using rocks and stones for the meantime, just to send your
That
bigger divisions as
that's
volunteers.
literally what I was advising you do before. Maybe I wasn't clear, but that's literally what I was suggesting you do, is train lots of these brigade agoristas who are 3
We don't
infantry
have enough.
battalions and then pre-deploy them. In fact, if you go over to your recruitment queue right now,
We don't have enough volunteers. 100 weak divisions. We still don't have enough. 200 weak divisions.
well, the number of volunteers is limited by the number of provinces controlled by the nation you're sending. So you can't send unlimited volunteers. But if you click on that little tank recruit and deploy icon at the top of your screen, under your oil, actually, yeah, okay, you still haven't got any rifles to them. They prioritize the other division, but you know what you can do?
Yeah.
See that thing that's an infinity icon, first of all? Click that to plus, to click plus. You don't want to probably train more of those. And then pre-deploy that division, because you can already pre-deploy it. And then that will get equipment to the Agorista training brigades, which are smaller and they'll allow you to get your volunteer cap higher quicker. You'll also probably need a lot of them to cover the front in your Civil War. I don't know where it deployed that one division, but it deployed it somewhere. I think in your capital.
Yeah, usually most of the time put in the capital, because, well,
You can deploy them
that's the
anywhere.
main supply.
I mean, you can.
Most of the time, capital's main.
So if you exit
Not
the training queue and where is the if you have an unassigned division, it's the little guy, 3 men saluting next to the thing that looks like a steel and oil drop. If you click click it, it's unassigned divisions. Yeah, you can assign them to one of the armies if you either assign them to a order or if you just right click. You see up on Mexican theater? Or, well, yeah, so if you select that division, or just shift click the division, doesn't matter, and then right click the portrait of the general, it'll assign him to his army group. The thing is, he's going to strategic redeploy all the way to the Yucatan there, so you might as well have just deployed the division there to begin with. I mean, it doesn't make sense to deploy divisions in your capital unless your capital is where you want to send them. You probably want to strategic redeploy them, or they'll march overland through the mud and through the mountains, and then they'll take a lot of attrition for no reason. But yeah. Yeah, you could have just deployed them right there in the Yucatan. You didn't need to... Oh yeah, if... Another thing, and this will help your civil war go faster, it's time to think about this. If you select that the whole army, so just left-click the guy's portrait, and you want to draw an offensive line to Guatemala so that they'll start getting planning bonuses. Because right now, just having a front line doesn't give them any planning bonuses. You won't be attacking Guatemala at all, but if you just right-click anywhere, and you press B again because the guy went back to marching the slow way, that will get them planning bonuses, which would be good because they'll still have those when your civil war breaks out, and then you can attack more quickly.
That is true, but what really matters though also is that which ones are gonna stay and which ones are gonna leave.
Well, yeah, everyone will have planning bonuses, including the divisions that defect, but it'll make for a faster civil war. Because if you have full planning bonuses, you can attack. Like, everyone's attack will be higher who has planning bonuses, so... yeah. Well, I gotta focus a little bit. I've already screwed up some things as the U.S. because I've been so focused on Mexico's tree.
What should I do now? I can do improved worker conditions.
Right now?
Yeah.
I would save up political power, actually, because you're going to have your civil war start very soon, and then you're going to be able to increase your economy law. So if you left-click on your country flag, and you see a thing that looks like a toaster, you'll be able to set that to partial mobilization once your civil war breaks out, which will make it allow factories to build faster, and you'll get more oil, and you'll have less consumer goods factories. Like, you're currently suffering debuffs to factory construction speed under civilian economy. If you hover over civilian economy to see what the current effects are, you'll see military and civilian construction speed is both minus 30%. You don't have any debuffs at partial mobilization, so your factories will all build faster.
Yeah.
And as I said, you get more oil, and you'll have fewer consumer goods. If you go to your construction queue real quick, next to the wrench there, you'll see you have 4 factories and consumer goods. That might go down to 2 or 3, which give you extra factories for construction once you partially mobilize. Also, it'll make the actual factories build faster. It won't affect infrastructure build speed, unfortunately, but it will give you more factories to build infrastructure with. So you'll be able to build up your industry faster once you mobilize your economy. So partial mobilization, and that takes 150 political power. So you're going to want to save for that, because you're going to probably want to do that during your civil war.
True. And plus I have 44% stability, which is going to give me a boost.
Although, shoot, if you do that, you'll need to have 25% war support after the Civil War, but you're going to be at 16, so go to your focus tree. You might need to run a couple focuses to give you war support during, let's see, you're going to be at 16 after you complete that focus. What does Realpolitik give you? Oh, 5% war support. That's good. What about Bolivarian Alliance? Oh, that just weakens the church and makes everyone like you a little bit more in Latin America. Hispanic solidarity decisions. Enforce the Cowes law, maybe? Up by anti-disestablishmentarianism, enforce the Cowes law. because you need more war support. 5%. Yeah, if you enforce the cows on revolutionary women, let's see, does that give you war support? Revolutionary women. Nope, just factories. Soldadas, maybe? Then? Soldadas, it's below revolutionary women. It represents, like, women in the military and stuff. Nope, just a little army experience, and more factories and women can become pilots. But yeah, you could enforce the Cowes law. That will give you a little bit more war support. You could real politics would lock you out of the Hispanic solidarity decisions and would have you create a faction. Although, interesting thing, once you're communist, well, forming a faction will make you major, so it's not a terrible thing. There are advantages to that.
I mean, this is already.
That'll
Well,
get
this
you
is
to
already.
16% war support. Kalazal
No,
will
I
get you
mean,
to 21, but you're still going to need to get up to 25 to maintain partial mobilization of your
because
economy. Otherwise, you get a
what,
demobilization mission.
what about the church?
I mean, at this point, you're not going to have much choice. The church is going to, go all the way to atheist state before long, which is why I was suggesting trying to, keep them stronger before, so that you can at least have a little time with higher stability.
Yeah, because after the Civil War, then
Well, one
at
thing you
this
can
point,
do to avoid the demobilization mission, so if you click on your focus tree again, if you go over, look at Communist Revolution. That gives you war support, but it also starts a civil war where you're considered the defender, if I'm not mistaken. So that would give you enough war support that you don't suffer from a demobilization mission. So you might enforce the Cowes law, and then actually, the enforcing the Cowes law could get you Christo's rebellion. If you go back to your decisions, I forget what are the conditions for the second Cristero rebellion. No, the
support
second
the
Cristero
Spanish
war.
left. Hold up, this one's new. Support
Yeah,
the Spanish left.
you get that once you finish your current focus. You need infantry equipment to do it, but it'll give you a chance of army experience or navy experience. And if you get the army experience when you get, then Republican Spain gets.
At the second Cristero War. Escalator trophy. Okay.
Less than 60% stability. The red shirts.
And it has national spirit, atheist state.
Yeah, shit. If you get down to atheist state and your stability is under 60%, you'll suffer another civil war, this time with the Catholics rising up. So you might only be able to go to partial mobilization of your economy. Shoot. Yeah, you might want to improve worker conditions after all. I don't think you're going to be able to maintain a highly mobilized economy. Because if you try, you're just going to end up, you're going to end up doing decisions that will cause a religious rebellion. So unless you want another civil war after the current one that you're about to face. Yeah, that will get you 12.5% stability, and that'll get you up to like 56.5, which is getting you closer to the 60% you need to avoid a religious uprising when you go to atheist state. So yeah, you might as well improve worker conditions now, because you're going to need that stability for sure. And there's a cooldown on taking that decision again. So take it now will start that cooldown until you can take the decision again in like 3 years. So.
Yeah.
Oop. Torpedo cruiser special project. Nice. Just finish that. Looking at your stream, it's getting a lot of Jeez, nuclear torpedoes. There's a lot of crazy stuff in the Navy projects, but they're usually worth running just for a chance at Navy experience stuff.
Yeah. And well, the nation government is pretty much, yeah, it looks like it's just about done for. It's all split up, and yeah, we got Polish Peasant Union has most of the land.
Sorry, I was looking at super heavy battleships are kind of freaking nonsense, but
I'm actually surprised the students still holding the line at Krakow. Being attacked by all these guys, and he's still holding.
I suppose it could be a useful thing. I'll just start on it. Yeah, so, so watch me on YouTube. Guess it takes some chromium to do super heavy battleship research. 6 chromium, yeah. So now guess I'll buy a little more from the Soviet Union.
No, it's just a matter of time for the Caudillo rebellion.
Yeah, you're just about to have your civil war. But I have a ton of ships that complete right on the 4th of July. Interesting.
Oh, I just realized because I'm Mexico, I can use cartels to fucking raid. If I wanted to.
To what? Cartels? What are you talking about?
I can fucking raid.
That's got nothing to do with cartels. Those are... I don't know what nonsense... No, that's got to do with... That's like bombing missions. That's saying that you could send bombers to drop bombs in the Hoover Dam if you were at war with me. That's got nothing to do with cartels. Nothing at all.
Well, I have a plot.
Divisions in Krakow aren't under pressure anymore. I was figuring they were in trouble, but... Well, actually, hold on. They pushed back to just those 2 provinces. What am I saying? But they're holding there, so it's alright, I guess. Although that... Yeah, they're going to be pushed back where they are currently is in hills. It'd be actually easier to defend on the urban province in the north. Not much. They do have the river.
like they just got encircled.
Hmm? Did you say you just got encircled? Oh yeah, those divisions got encircled. You didn't get encircled. Not your divisions. You were looking at Spain. There's for those watching YouTube, there's this one little province in Catalonia where there's a few like Republican divisions encircled. Corps divisions are here in this mountain in eastern Aragon. Well, they'll be fine as long as this mountain south of them doesn't get taken. If you pop over to eastern Aragon to Spain, Corps, you go look at it. Yeah, your divisions on the mountain, your cavalry are fine. They're getting pushed back, but they're not going to get encircled. As long as that province to the southwest of them doesn't fall, they're fine. However, there are 2 Soviet volunteer divisions and 2 Republican Spanish divisions who are encircled up in Catalonia, and they're going to get crushed. That's a loss that neither the Soviets nor the Republicans can really afford, but what's to be done? And there's your Civil War Corps. How all your volunteers get pulled back. And okay, so you control everything that's green. And the side that rose up, Caudillo, the strongman of San Luis, he is... He has, interestingly, some of the same spirits as you, except not left-wing militaries. But he has proletarian class army? Really? Huh.
I have random planes sitting here. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys have no experience.
oh, you didn't train your pilots, did you? I guess that had a little bit of utility because he would have gotten some of your pilots trained or not, but and you would have spent money, or you would have spent oil training guys. Some of we won't keep, but yeah, they're completely green. You could have trained them. If you zoom out a little, because I can't see anything there. Yeah, there's no... Yeah, transvolcanic belt does include the state of Tamaulipas, so if you're trying to take San Luis Potosi quickly, well, what's your plan if you go to the land warfare thing? What's your...
Well,
I don't know where you have air bases in the northwest, if you have any up there.
north.
In the northwest.
I only have one.
You have a base in Baja. The air base in Baja, that's yours as well. And you also have 2 in the Yucatan Peninsula. But yeah, you always got 1 in Mexico City. What type of aircraft are those? Fighters and CAS?
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. Yeah, they're close enough to support push on San Luis Potosi. So yeah, if you right click or left like that, and if you put the fighters in air superiority,
Yeah.
the fighters, not the CAS, then they will provide just a teeny tiny bit of air superiority in the air zone, which will give slight combat debuffs to the other side if they have fewer fighters there, which I don't think they will, but it'll at least prevent them from getting control of the skies, and they'll protect the bombers.
They have nothing to do with air support, and they don't have anything. They're just landlocked completely.
I mean, they might have air bases in their controlled states.
Oh, why don't you
No,
look
they
at
don't.
that?
They don't have
most
any
of
air
my
bases. I just checked. So, yeah, as long as you don't lose the one in Mexico City or Baja, you have complete control of the skies. But looks like your divisions down the Yucatan didn't automatically redeploy, so you're going to want to strategically redeploy and rush him up there. Otherwise, he's going to start taking your territory because you got nothing defending, stopping his divisions from just marching in. And it looks like you've got divisions that are coming back from the war. I would recommend, instead of doing one gigantic line of all 16 divisions on the entire front, it's a little more, I would delete that, and instead, it's going to take a little more careful planning, but I would try and figure out, like, if you want, like, maybe 8 divisions in the southern half and 8 in the northern, to do it in smaller fronts, because if you do one giant front, you're going to get weird stuff with divisions trying to move from one end of the front to the other. I would also probably put the cohesion, you have it flexible. You might want to consider rigid cohesion to also minimize that kind of thing. And you should assign a field marshal to your army. They should be back from where the civil wars, or at least they'll starting to head back. Calais, yeah, your former Plutarco Calais. He's the little hour watch thing means he's coming back. It'll be 15 days because he's coming back from, I think he was in Spain. So it'll be 2 weeks before he actually arrives, but he will be able to. But I was going to say, you're probably going to want to manually assign where each division goes, or there are 10 provinces along the front, and you have 16 divisions, so you have just enough to cover everything and group up divisions in a couple places. And I can tell you, I have a little intel, he has at least a division in Matamoros and another in Reynosa, so at least some of his divisions are on the northern border with me. I can't tell you where the rest are, I only can see those two. Probably, if I had thought ahead, I could have put some on the other parts of the border to look. In fact, I'll do that as a favor to you. I can give you a little intel on him. Okay. Move some divisions along to get more visibility on the border. But Core, you're going to want to, as I was saying, you're going to want to manually assign. Also, for some reason, you have men marching around the Yucatan for God knows what reason in random directions. You'll obviously want to cancel that. But you're going to want to you probably hit H so they don't, I don't know what they're doing there, but you're going to want to, you have 16 divisions, so you're going to want to figure out you have 13 of those agueristas and 3 infantry divisions. So you got 3 good offensive divisions and 13 defense, and you're going to want to figure out where each one goes on the front. It's a little bit of like micro, but if you want to win the war quickly, you need to figure out where you're going to redeploy them into.
Wow.
You can select, you don't have to select all the divisions at once. I'm saying you can take like a lump of 3 divisions and decide where to put them, and then do the next 3, and then the next 3.
At least 4.
That's 4 of them. One of them's an offensive division, and the other 3 are defense. So you could like go up to the front and select like, you know, like 2 or 3 provinces for these guys to hold. It's kind of, it's up to you. I can't really make all the plans for you. I was able to guide you through some of the, you know, the economic stuff and the little micro in the Civil War, but
put them there.
I will tell you this, your rail network is going to be very important, both in terms of maintaining supplies and in terms of redeploying divisions quickly. You do have a railway that runs right up to Aguascalientes, goes through Leon and through Mexico City. So if you strategically redeploy people to Aguascalientes or Leon, they can get there very quick because they'll just ride the train the whole way there if you strategically redeploy some divisions to those provinces. Men will march very slowly through the mountains. If you try and march them the slow way, you kind of have to strategically redeploy if you want them to get to the front quickly enough. Even the AI knows to strategically redeploy, so in situations like these. Hold on. This has got to be the most boring thing that does on YouTube. I'm going to share the screen share. I can do that. I'm going to cut the video here because it's gone an hour and 45. That's on YouTube. Check the next video. You'll actually see some of this planning because it might be more interesting than just staring at a screen that shows nothing.